Good day on the Suffolk Ram.
Skazz, yes.
Welcome to episode 273 of the Rand Nerds podcast. Hey, how are you, Skazz?
Are you sure it's 273?
Yes.
Really?
Yep.
Maybe I've misnumbered everything. Oh, well, welcome to 273. I'm great, mate. How are you?
I'm fine. I mean, it should be 273 because if it's not, I've just uploaded the episode 272. So if that, we may have gone wrong a long time ago.
Oh, mate, don't. That just brings me all the way back to the daily vlogs. Is that the right number? Have I missed a day? Was that a leap year? It's like, oh no.
Yeah. I mean, at least with daily vlogs, you could just do them by date and then you'd be safe.
Yeah, that's how it went in the end. Because I just realised I can't count. The numbers got too long. I can't count.
Oh, they got
How many years you been doing it for? I don't know.
Did they go up to 10? Was that the problem?
No, I lost count. Well, I lost count after 2.
You've got fingers in one hand, haven't you?
And
Oh, right, yeah, it says, yeah. I mean, you're not from Norfolk, so, yeah.
The stubbly things.
Yeah, those things. Your grippers.
I can use the grippers to count.
You can. That's what most people do.
Yeah, but after I counted the first 2, what do I do with the other ones?
Well, then what you do is you need to count in binary, and then you've done the first 2, so you can then put them both up there, that's 3, and then you need to put the third finger, and that becomes 4, first 2 down, and just work in binary with them.
Yeah, that makes more sense. Oh, there you go. Next time I'm going to title everything in binary.
Yeah, you should
see how it goes.
Yeah.
Just title it in hex and number it in binary.
Yeah. I mean, if you did 8 bits, you're good. Well, we'd now have if we were doing our stuff in 1 byte, we'd have overflowed by now.
Wow.
Because I'm actually have a 256, so we'd now be on overflow.
We're screwed up.
We'd have to switch to 16-bit.
I don't know if we can do that, mate. We're not that advanced.
If we got to switch,
do you know how much more work it is to do things in 16-bit?
Well, that's just another 8 zeros.
Only 8 zeros.
Yeah, it's alright. Most of them we won't use.
Yeah, but
let's face it, we doubled the amount of zeros we need just because we have 1 extra number, really. Because that 1 extra digit would get us up to 512, and it will be a while before we get there.
And then when I just imagine that we're both in the old folks' home, wired up. Do you remember that time when we said that this would be enough? And we've been taking the magic serum for the last 500 years.
Well, given I'll say it would have to be a while because 16-bit. Well, that's 4096, isn't it? 4096. So that's enough for 2,000 years because we do one every fortnight.
Yeah, but what if we change the schedule, mate? We keep changing the schedule.
We ain't changed the frequency.
But what if we change it?
Well, unless we change it to like daily, we're not going to. If we did it weekly, we're good for like another, 4,096 weeks. So, actually, I've done it wrong, haven't I? So,
to be fair, given the last episode, it's not actually going to be our problem. It's going to be the AI's problem.
Yeah. Oh, it'd be good for. So I made my calculation wrong. If we kept fortnightly, we'd be good for 39 years.
Yeah, I don't think either of us are going to live that much longer. Do you?
I've got a good chance of doing 39 years. I'll have you know.
Well, then you better get that AI trained on me in a heartbeat, mate. Because I don't know if I'll last that long.
Oh, I've got plenty of it. I've got loads of stuff I can train the AI on you. Loads.
That's terrible.
That's
terrible.
I've already experimented using AI. I've experimented using AI to transcode the transcribe the podcast, and I did a surprisingly good job, even with me mumbling.
Do you remember that time? Do you remember that time when we tried to get ChatGPT to write a Rand Nerds episode?
Yeah, it went really, really wrong.
It started off okay. We were rather upbeat and excitable.
It was. Then it went on to full right-ring nonsense.
Yeah, but that's what AI does.
Yeah, it is the way it does now. By law, it's going to be doing it by law soon. Because Trump doesn't want any woke AI out there.
Mate, we ain't going to know about that because we're not going to be allowed to connect to the internet.
That's true, yes. Yeah. Do you think we should put a verification up for our podcast? Do you think we're going to have to require from the people to give us their IDs? And actually, that's a good idea. We can require.
We've got to find that out.
Well, we could get people to give us all their IDs, and if we insist they give us our IDs and their bank account numbers.
Well, it's not a government body, though, is it? It's all gone through third party.
Yeah, well, yeah, of course.
So, I mean, to be fair, Ram, I don't know if I'll have access to the internet in the next couple months.
I'll be honest with you, this completely slipped me by, this whole thing. I literally knew about it when somebody put up a post on Reddit about having to do age verification for Reddit. It's like, what? When's that become a thing?
So they announced it back during COVID. They were
completely missed me by. Completely missed me by. I completely didn't know a thing about this, and it's like, when's this coming?
Well, no, mate, because we spoke about it briefly during the COVID days.
Do you think I remember anything about COVID?
No, you have a fair point. That was a bit of a blur, weren't it? I mean,
I miss COVID.
For my family, that was years and years and years in lockdown. For everyone else, they had like 6 months and then a bit of time where they had to be distant from each other. It's like, oh yeah, I can't leave my house.
I had 5 weeks. That was my bliss.
Ooh.
5 weeks is all I had, and then I had to go back at work because I was apparently essential.
Yeah, but then if you speak to any of the bankers and that, you're not.
Yeah, no, oh yeah, bankers, lawyers, they weren't essential. But apparently, we suddenly discovered who was essential all of a sudden. Who was vital to the economy all of a sudden. Strange enough, it's all the people got paid the least amount of money. Weird that.
I know, it's wonderful, isn't it?
Strange that. It's like, perhaps you need to reevaluate your payment systems of where the essential people.
I just love it. The people who were ordered to get back to work were all of the people who would get spat on if the customer didn't get their way.
Yeah.
Treated like they mean absolutely nothing. And it's like, hey, if these fuckers didn't do their jobs, you couldn't get on with your day.
Yeah.
Don't start.
The good thing was, for quite a few months, people generally were like, we were getting carte blanche to tell people to fuck off. It was quite nice. We had full rights to say, if you don't behave yourself, you can fuck off. Thank you, bye.
Have a nice day.
Yeah, fuck off, thank you. I don't deserve you, get out.
Trouble is, though, no one learnt a lesson.
Of course he didn't.
No one learnt anything from this.
No.
At all.
No.
No one. That fucking infuriate me. But no, I mean, they were talking about this online, I can't remember what it's called, like the Online Safety Act or whatever. They were chatting about that back during the COVID days. And I thought they'd squashed it. I thought they'd killed it because like the idea of them actually being able to enforce it was ridiculous. And then it's like, oh yeah, no, it just turns out that they just kind of put it on hold whilst they were building extra things to put it in place. It's like, right. Have we been tidying up the kind of language in it or what? Yeah. No, it's still incredibly broad, really out there.
Do you know what the great thing about it is, though? Ironically, AI has been our saviour on this one, because people just putting AI prompts and saying, generate me a photo driving license, please, in a hand. And actually been producing it, and then people have been uploading those, and it's been accepted.
It's funny, actually, because you know Death Stranding, is it Norman Reedus?
Yeah.
Norman Reedus. People at one point were using his face for the face scans from Death Stranding.
Yeah.
They were using his face from Death Stranding too.
I've heard people have been using, because there's that website that this is not a real person, which generates AI faces, and people have been using that as well.
That's just...
Apparently some people have done it. Some people have done it with Unreal MetaHuman as well.
For me, I mean, that's all funny and stuff until you get locked out of your accounts and they go, no, we can't trust you, delete. Because they'll find you in breach of terms of service.
Yeah.
And then you lose access to your accounts. I mean, like I say, clever, funny, you know, but if you've, say, put in hundreds of hours, thousands of hours into whatever account it is you've had to verify, is that really something you want to risk?
Oh, that's true. But people use it for Reddit, so no great loss there.
Some of these accounts, people have got like all their photos stored on there, their videos on there, you know, all family stuff on there, contacts, and that's like, well, I'm not going to give them my ID. I'm going to use a randomly generated face. It's like, yeah, and then you're found in breach of terms of service. the usually unenforceable TOS, and you lose access to all your stuff because it's too hard to speak to a real human these days, and they'll probably go, well, you couldn't even prove that you were a real human, so why should we bother?
Yeah.
But no, I haven't, if I had to be honest, I've not properly read it over, but from what I understand, it's pretty out there.
Yeah.
Very out there. The stuff this covers.
Yeah. I've not come across it yet. Nothing I've done has impacted me yet. But yeah, it's just insane.
Like they have said that this could affect things like it could affect Spotify, Reddit, YouTube,
Reddit's
Discord.
definitely Reddit's a thing because people have been that's what people have been talking about, using it to verify into Reddit.
Yeah, same with Discord. Discord is apparently going to be asking people. YouTube have gone a bit heavy-handed, saying any account that hasn't been verified to be someone over the age of 16 could be deleted. I've heard. I haven't confirmed any of that yet. Yeah. What was another one? There was a bunch of there's a list of things that can't be in this content. And if it's there, whether it's like user generated content or whether this is actual commercial content, I don't know. But if it's commercial, if it includes commercial content, my gods, the internet's going to get shut down from this random list. I was there's how the hell could they enforce it? Like how could they? How has no one sued the British government yet? Can they sue the British government for it?
I assume so. Yeah, because you can go against the crown. Because you go against the crown, don't you? Because people have sued the British government, but I suppose it would require a test case. It'll be on what grounds do they sue it on? Because we don't have any. We have no First Amendment rights in this country. That doesn't exist. It's not a thing in the UK. There's no UK equivalent of First Amendment rights that they have in the States, where you can say anything to anybody. There's no equivalent in the UK of that.
Well, no. Are we talking free speech?
Yeah, there's no equivalent.
That's free speech against the government, not free speech against other citizens.
Yes, that's very true. That's very true.
Make that clear. I can't stand that when people say that about the American Constitution. We have free speech. It's like, no, you have free speech to talk shit about the government. They can't come and kick your door down for saying Donald Trump's a fucking orange psychopath or whatever.
Well, they'll probably change it soon.
They don't. There's nothing saying that you can go and call Jerry on Facebook a wanker.
Yeah, because they're private companies, so you don't do anything. So when people say Facebook's interfering with my freedom of speech, no, they're not.
No, of course not.
No, there is no. They can ban you because they don't like. They can ban you for pretty much any reason apart from a few exclusions. So
their terms of service isn't bound by your constitution.
No,
that's just the way of it.
No.
There is no real freedom on the internet unless it's a site run by cowboys for cowboys, as it were.
Yeah.
You know, if you're on Facebook, you play by Facebook's rules. If you're on fucking Google or whatever, YouTube, you have to play by their rules. You can't do what you want on their services because of your country's laws. That's not how it works.
But Skazz, what do you mean on Facebook if I don't put the little disclaimer at the top of my post saying all my posts are my own copyright? Facebook can't use them in any of their data stuff. But surely if I do that, I'm free. Surely I've opted out my terms of service doing that.
I posted something similar to that once, but it was all like, I say that Facebook can't do blah blah blah, and it was all fucking ha 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 for like nearly. I mean, it was a lot. That's what was so funny. It's like, that doesn't mean anything. Yeah. You've signed the terms of service. All right, it's not a binding contract.
No, but Facebook could quite easily. If you saw like, terms out, I would laugh personally if Facebook just went saying, yeah, we've seen this thing. You can apply by the terms of service. We're showing you a countdown.
But that's what I'm saying to people, though.
Yeah.
That's what I've been saying to people, like, because Facebook also has this thing where you're not allowed to use a fake name.
Yeah.
If it's not on your birth certificate, you can't use that name. And yet I see so many people using aliases and all that on Facebook, posting all their stuff on it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, here's my holiday photos. Here's my kids being born. Here's XYZ memory. I was like, dude, they could shut you down in a heartbeat and you couldn't argue about it because there's no way you can prove you are the name on that page.
And the truth now is the only reason they don't is A, it's too much hassle, unless you cause a problem. And B, they actually want your data. So again, unless you cause a problem, it gives them a nice little out if they need it.
They have shut many a people down, but yeah, you're right. Generally speaking, are you likely to get away with it? Yes. Is it really easy to rock the boat, though? Yeah, depends on the time of day. Or if you live in the UK now, be very careful. But this is going to be a security nightmare too.
Yeah. Wait till the first batch gets hacked.
ID theft is going to go through the roof.
Yeah. Wait till the first lot gets hacked.
Yeah.
First major hack when, like, you know, the most of the adult population in the UK have all their data lost or stolen, and it's going to be, yeah, this is a stupid idea.
Yep.
Utterly stupid idea.
1984 was not supposed to be a guidebook.
No.
But
no.
Just,
here we are.
If they ask me for ID, I can't give it them anyway. So I can't. There'll be a lot of stuff that I'll just get locked out of. But as I say, the chances are it could affect, as we say, look, Spotify, Discord. It's not just like things that allow you to communicate. It's messaging in material. As I say, if it's commercial, is commercial covered? Or is it just user-generated stuff like memes and random shit you post on YouTube or Facebook or whatever? Because
I suppose
some of
the
that
argument
stuff that they're saying, like you could include like a Blue Planet documentary or whatever, like cruelty to animals or XYZ or well, what about that documentary? Does that not count?
I mean,
where have they drawn the line? Because the wording's incredibly vague.
Oh, of course it is. Of course it is.
Has to be.
Has to be. They, with corporate, I mean, if by corporate stuff mean companies' own internal systems, I don't think it would be required because they should be to their own verification and stuff internally anyway.
Well, no, I mean more like, so let's say, for example, Sony Records puts out an album about, I don't know, killing Jews or something like that. Like they're okay with it and they've pushed it out. That's made by corporate.
Yeah.
That's not just me going through DistroKid making, you know, anti-Semitic album 53.
Yeah.
And then just putting it onto all these platforms. Or it's not like, hey, Marvel has now made the new Avengers movie and there's scenes of torture in it. Like,
yeah.
What is covered?
When does entertainment become a thing? I suppose it comes to, it's a bit like in this laws we have in the UK, we have obscenity laws for pornographic materials, and what is in that law is quite broad. What it includes stuff, it includes the obvious stuff that no one wants out there, but if a TV show as part of a plot point or something dramatizes something that technically falls in that law, do they fall foul? Or do they get a pass?
Getting me.
Yeah, do they get a pass because it's entertainment?
Yeah. Well, I'm probably actually thinking more of the case of, do they get a free pass because who's doing it?
Yeah.
Like, does the BBC get a free pass?
Yeah.
Does National Geographic get a free pass? Does Marvel or Disney get a free pass? Because we could say, well, what I've made is entertainment. But do I get that because of where I distribute it? Do I still get the same rights, passes as the bigger company will? Because obviously, if I was like, I don't know, making a thing about butchery, if I don't know, BBC made a documentary about the history of being a fucking butcher, they could probably show more stuff than I could.
Probably.
But at that point, if we were both showing roughly the same content, would we still fall foul of this thing because you're not allowed to show like who gets the pass? Because I'm thinking there's tons of stuff already out there that would probably fall foul.
Yeah.
Of, I mean, like the Hostel movies, for example.
Yeah.
Any horror film or slasher film. It's fiction. But it's still depicting serious acts of violence.
Is that the... Again, I think this is a fictional thing, therefore it's fine. Is it like if you try and pretend it's real for some purpose? But then found footage films then technically would fall in that because they are meant to be air quotes real when they're not, obviously, but they are technically applied. So would they then fall?
Like dramatizations.
Yeah. Where the line is going to get very hazy, and I think basically you're right. If you are a big film studio or media conglomerate, you're going to be fine. You're going to get away with it. Whereas if you're Joe Bloggs who makes a series of short films on YouTube, you'll probably fall foul of stuff like that.
All it says here, and this is just a summary. It's a 2023 act of the Parliament of the United Kingdom to regulate online content. Designed to suppress or record a wide range of online content that is illegal or deemed harmful to children. Now, I did see some kind of...
Won't somebody think of the children?
Well, that's how they're getting it through, because anyone that's now pushing against it is being called some very nasty stuff. Oh, clearly then you're okay with this, and this. And so, well, not really, but it's not the first, it wouldn't be the first time the government has framed this thing here and then snuck a few extra bits in down here that no one would ever want.
It's a
but
balance.
Because you can't argue with that top bit.
It's the balance is meant to be achieved between protecting people and also the right to people to do what they want. There's a balance in between, and we have to decide where we are and where the line is drawn somewhere in the middle. And okay, great, yeah. I mean, there's lots of things I wouldn't want young children seeing online, like our podcast, for example. That really should be banned immediately. But
I agree.
You've got to be prepared to allow out and restrict certain things. You know, you can't just clamp down everybody just for the sake of a small group. Because perhaps what we should be clamping down on is like teaching people to parent.
Well, yeah, that's what I thought. Well, because I had this argument with someone. I say argument. It did get rather heated because they didn't quite understand the importance of this. And it's usually people of our generation, which is really weird. They're like, well, all it's doing is blocking kids from viewing porn. And it's like, no, God, no. What are you on? Like, there's millions of things that this is going to cover, not just. And they're like, well, these are the same. And I will note, these are the same parents who are like, well, how am I supposed to monitor my children all this time? Like, I can't do it. It's like, well,
don't give access to it.
You don't have to.
Don't let them have access to it.
And yeah, sure.
Yeah, like,
there has to be a layer of trust for a start. Don't just give your kids one of these, a smartphone, in case anyone's curious. And again, the same. So these are the same parents who will go, well, my kid has to take their phone into school because what if something happens? It's like,
I'm a dumb
you
phone.
went to school when there were no phones and you survived.
You can still
buy get through it?
You can still buy a dumb phone or have a phone with no data on it. Okay, the school has Wi-Fi, but the school has its own blocking material in there. And yeah, okay, will you stop it? No, you'll make it harder, and that's what it means. But harder because not being fair, guys. When we grew up, the sort of the gatekeeping that we used to have for this was, please enter your age before carrying on.
Yeah.
And I worked out at like 8 or 9 when I first got into this. I worked out for probably much more 10, 11 actually, that you could just lie.
Yeah.
And if I can work, do you not think that younger children just will soon figure out, hey, if I just go on Google and search for driving license with photo, there we are. Mm-hmm. Do you think that maybe they'll figure that out? And then, of course, once they tell their friends, before long, they're getting in anyway.
Who's to say those kids don't go down to your purse, your wallet, your bag,
and just take
and
your
lift
card,
your ID, and just
and use your
post
ID,
it as if they're making an account for you?
and then they go and they find stuff online that's perhaps they shouldn't be seeing at all, and which you want to be associated with you.
Yeah,
because kids don't know any better. Kids,
no one's. Yeah, you're right.
Kids don't know. They do what they see. Oh, look at this funny. Oh, look at this funny. Because kids are stupid. In general, kids are stupid. Oh, look at this look at this horrible video of stuff of someone doing stuff. Oh, isn't that grim? Oh, because, they're all edgelords and stupid when they're at a certain age, particularly boys. Boys go a phase of being fucking stupid and finding the most extreme stuff really funny. And some never grow out of it. They go and see all this sort of stuff. Oh, it's okay. I've watched these horrible videos, and all that stuff. But it's okay. I did use my mum's ID.
But yeah. Like, what the fuck? Come on, British government. Think. Like, oh my god! I'm asking a government body to actually use common sense.
But it's been put through by a group of people who don't actually understand, who've never lived in, air quotes, the culture of a certain environment. So they don't understand. So how many of them rarely go online?
Well, to be honest with you, I think they do. I just don't think they care because it's not going to affect them, is it?
No.
Like, because again, this is the same with some of the people that I've been talking to. Well, what would it matter? They've got ID. It's like, dude, do you really want to put your ID in the hands of a third party just so you can use Reddit? Really? That's insane. Like, fucking Keir Starmer will go, well, I don't give a shit because I don't use Reddit. Or half these motherfuckers are like, well, I don't use Discord.
No, don't worry. As will always be the case when it comes to politicians, they'll get caught out. They'll have done it, and they'll get caught out to being the ones using it and doing the most shitty stuff on there, because what usually happens.
Well, yeah. Usually, they're the motherfuckers doing the stuff that they're trying to block. All they've gone and done is they've thought, we've written a paragraph full of buzzwords. This'll do the job. You can't argue with that.
Yeah.
Because if you do, you must be hiding something. You must be one of the evil ones. And they've pushed it through, gone, well, I don't care. I can just send in my ID. I've got nothing to hide. Then they get hacked.
Yep.
They haven't thought about it. They've got no fucking clue.
No clue and don't care.
No. They're like, well, what do I care? I can go find some other mate that I can lube up with some money.
Yeah.
And get in. Can we backdoor encryption? Let's backdoor encryption. That's a good idea. So that only the good guys can use it. How mentally fucking soft-boiled do you have to be to think that would actually work, you stupid bastards?
What you're basically saying is, let's put a deliberate security flaw in something.
Yeah, might as well just make it not encrypted. Well, why are you encrypting things for? What are you hiding? Well, the bank can fucking encrypt things. Why can't I?
Yeah.
Even the Free Software Foundation's like, yeah, I can understand banks having like closed proprietary software.
Yeah.
And like encryption and all that kind of stuff. Like we don't have to share that kind of stuff. It's like, good job, Stallman. Even you've got your head screwed on straight. What the fuck are the rest of these people talking about?
Yeah.
Sorry, I just...
No. I 100% agree to you that it just seems insane to me. Like, I do get the arguments for it, but I think every restriction is a balance on people's, what do we want to call them, liberties, freedoms, rights, and so forth. There's always got to be a balance between the two. And there comes a point where if you erode too much away, that you are basically flipping to the wrong side of things. You just keep rows of, we want backdoors to everything, so we can do everything. Okay, so we can catch the bad guys, yes, but when does that then filter down to people looking out to try and find out if you're having, doing perhaps some like bad trading, or when does it become? When do you draw the line of who can use it for when? And who?
When does it get like you've literally sterilized everything at that point?
Yeah.
Because then all of the things you think, oh well, that's okay. I've just kind of bent it a little bit. That's fine. I can get away with doing this. And then some other bloke goes, no, I interpret it as this. You're fucked. And I was like,
Yeah.
What? But all I did was do some stuff off the books for my mate. Nope, not anymore. You're done.
Yeah.
You sent a dodgy text message. Oh, yeah, but I meant it as funny, ha-ha, and he laughed. Yeah, well, that's not how we're reading it.
No, your text message is offensive.
Yeah,
So
that's inflammatory.
Yeah.
You're a cunt. They can't use that kind of language because it's the government, but, you know.
Yeah.
Just pad it with some words. Get your thesaurus out.
I had this debate with my sister about. She said some people caught like doing some sort of like post nasty things. She says, "Oh, it should be down. It should be bad." I said, to be honest with you, Sophie, sister, sorry, whatever people get up with, if people want to be rude and nasty in a small group between themselves, and they want to say small things between themselves, frankly, I don't care. I don't see. It's not like. It's when it leaves that group and goes outside, they start like use it to incite hate, incite violence and stuff. If people want to sit in their homes and say some nasty sexist comments or something, in the grand scheme of who's that? I know some people will try this, but who's that hurting? Well, nobody, because no one's hearing it. It's not like it's when it goes out, so they start using it to act in a certain way, to let them change their view, to make them do stuff, or they just like use it casually. That's where it becomes a problem, and so forth. But if people want to vent in their own homes, I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
it's not hurting anybody, because the people with their board things, it's like if they want to discuss something, I don't really care. As long as they don't use it outside, then they don't like use attitudes to deal with people, and like, or like use to say to incite violence against people, like to suspect people, like to discriminate against people in real life. Because the truth of the matter is, if they don't say, if you've banned them from saying it in private, they'll just do it anyway. So you're not saying,
generally speaking.
Yeah, if people
but
are.
Again, at what point does it get where we've sterilized literally everything?
Yeah.
I mean, Christ, dude. Spend 15 minutes in a Call of Duty lobby and you've heard pretty much every slur under the fucking sun.
Yeah.
Straight away. And that's even before you started a match.
Yeah.
Like, but where the fuck does this actually like? And again, just as a note, because I get what you're saying, like with the whole idea. Well, if people are only saying it in their own little closed group, and there's no real idea of it, or there's no real intention for it to leak out of that group.
Yeah.
You know, people who say that, like, I don't know, Tesco's BLTs are the best in the world, and as long as they're not going over to the Asda group and start shouting and screaming and calling them wankers or whatever.
Yeah.
You know. Fine, whatever. Let them do it. At what point, though? And this is the issue I've had with stuff like when we had all the big kind of surveillance leaks back from like September 11th and all that. Where it's like, oh yeah, by the way, we're monitoring all these phone calls and all this kind of stuff. At what point is that too much data to really pass?
Yeah.
You know. It's great, yeah, that you're hoovering all this up and you're trying to censor all of this stuff here and there, and you're going to be trying to monitor it all. There is too much data. There's too much. You can't filter it all.
No. And no matter how good a system you have, and because obviously the old days would say they get an algorithm to look at it, now also these AI to look at it. No matter what system you use, it's never going to be perfect, and it's going to do lots of false flags, lots of false positives as well. You know, it's going to do lots of.
That's what I was actually about to get to as well. Like, it's not going to work.
And yes, it can probably ream through all the data and pull it all out. Yeah, probably. It probably can. It probably can pull it all out. It can probably find some. It can probably flag stuff up. The threshold though for flagging up is going to have to be so high. Because again, just casual conversation between people would flag most things in a bad way. I mean, how do you tell when someone says, oh, fuck off, mate? Well, you mean like, oh yeah, jokingly, oh, fuck off, mate, compared to, I'm now about to murder you.
Read. That's a bad read.
Yeah. When does
it... like, and I've always said this one, so like, I say a lot of words I probably shouldn't. Like, in public, you don't say them. That's like when people go, oh yeah, do you self-censor when you're singing along to Straight Outta Compton? Do you self-censor? And people are like, well, you're listening to NWA, son. Are you fucking self-censoring or what? Now, the correct thing to say there is, yes, no one is. I'm a fan of Richard Pryor, right? Listened to all of his comedy stuff, all of his comedy CDs, read his book. Great guy. Well, tormented guy. Funny guy.
As all comedians are.
But there are a lot of words that he uses in his earlier comedy sketches I shouldn't say. But if I'm, say, quoting Pryor, do I now have to say I'm quoting Pryor every time I say something? Or is it when someone throws out a movie quote and then your mate bounces off you with another movie quote?
Yeah.
How the fuck are they gonna...
I think also I think there should be a certain... I think you should allow horrible materials to exist and be accessible to people so they can see them and read them. I've always had a fascination, and I've always been interested in reading Mein Kampf just to see what it says. I've got no interest in becoming a far-right Nazi and murdering a group of people just because of how they were born. That's not me. But I am intrigued to see a shot into the mind, although apparently I've heard it's badly written, but I'm intrigued to see into the mind of how he got up to where he got to that stage. I'm intrigued to see how he got where he got there, what his thoughts are. I'm just intrigued by it. But
all the great dictators, I say great dictators, all the bigger ones, they've all had a random ass book you could read.
Yeah. But do you think I'm going to go on Amazon and order a copy? No.
Mate, no, you say that. We've got a couple.
Well,
we've got a couple. Again, like you said, it's morbid curiosity. You want to see what the fuck is it that makes them tick?
Yeah.
It's not that you actually have any interest in being like them
or accepting their views or understanding their views.
No, of course not.
Because by that
I read books about nuclear physics. Yeah. No fucking way am I going to become a fucking physicist.
Or another way, if you read a horror book, perhaps from a murderer's point of view, does it mean you want to go murder people?
Of course not.
No, because it's just interesting to explore character. Interesting to see someone's point of view, but it's the same principle of wanting to intrigued by it. And I think a lot of people would be intrigued to read it, but just daren't.
Yeah.
Because
I'm not of that. I'll read anything and I'll do it publicly if I have to, but because I'm used to people judging me based solely on appearance too. So I don't really care. You probably should. But then if you start worrying about what everyone's going to if you're worried about everything getting locked down, you're never going to do anything.
No.
But that's something that the government is now doing on our behalf. You're not even allowed to explore. You're not allowed to have a sense of empathy. Now you have to have a cookie cutter, this is the way it is, accept it kind of mentality. When we play video games and stuff, I don't need to see me on a screen. I don't need to see me in a movie or in a book. No. Have someone described as a 6-foot twiggy British cripple. I don't need that. I can relate to other things that they do or say.
Yeah.
The emotions that are put on the page, that's where I connect.
Well,
I don't need it to be the same race as me, the same gender as me.
No.
I don't even need to believe in the same politics. Mate, I have dealt with some proper nasty bastards in my life.
Yeah.
But there are times when there's a little bit of an overlap. And they go, oh yeah, mate, I actually quite like, I don't know, the McRib. And I said, yeah, it's all right, isn't it?
Yeah. And
everything else, you think they're a complete cunt.
Yeah. And you'll find people who have some crazy views, but some of them will be correct.
Yeah.
Or some will be they'll spout nonsense. Broken clocks will be right try today, and sometimes people will spout nonsense, and then they'll actually come up with something correct. One of our friends, who's I say friend, so an acquaintance I know has gone a bit off the deep end and just believes anything he reads about medical stuff online now, and most of it is absolute bullshit. Or just completely made up. But occasionally he'll say something that is correct. And I was listening to Splatoon and I was like, saying, I don't think that's correct. I was trying to be nice possible way of saying you're just talking nonsense. But then you come across and say, well, actually, that is correct. That is true. What you said is actually true.
Yeah.
But she said but just because you've got like one grain of truth in a bundle of nonsense doesn't mean everything becomes right.
You've had to do some severe mental gymnastics to get to that point. But yeah, no,
Yeah.
that, exactly, yeah. You know, that's the whole idea as well. Like, just because what is it? What's that saying? Something like just because you're not, or just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they're not watching you, or something like that. I can't remember what the saying is.
Yeah, it's basically it. Yeah.
But it's like there have been so many people who have been considered like psychotic conspiracy theories over the last like 50 years, and then it starts coming out. I was like, oh,
they were being spied on by the FBI or
MI5. They were right. There was a voice on the other end of the line.
Yeah.
Oh, there was a random third voice.
Yeah.
There were probably more than 2 shooters of JFK.
On a related note to what we said, because you talk about like games and stuff, we've seen what Steam's done with MasterCard and Visa.
I've heard there's been a big pull.
So
on all sorts of
basically, MasterCard, it's like for what I don't know all the full ins and outs. Well, my understanding is there was a group in Australia who are very much from these think of the children groups.
Australia, fuck off.
And they basically bombarded MasterCard and Visa's like course and stuff, complaining about the fact that their systems could be used to purchase like pornographic materials and stuff. And so MasterCard basically have said, Visa said, well, we're just not allowed to, basically went to like Steam and said, if you don't pull these range of games, we won't use our systems at all.
Oh dear.
So
slippery slope. Payment processors should not have that sway.
100% agree with you. That should be agnostic. You know, when it comes to what they allow payments to go through for, it should be for everything, unless it's like buying AK-47s to sell to the dictator.
No. If you want to buy an AK-47, you should be able to use your credit for it. That's what they're there for.
I mean,
buy things.
I mean, I'm talking about gun running type thing to be honest, rather than legit stuff.
I get what you're saying, but still, it's not up to them.
No,
it's not up to them. They provide an A to B service.
Yeah,
that's it.
And by giving themselves that market share, they basically have to accept responsibility that you should allow whatever to go through.
It's up to I hate to say it, it's up to law enforcement to stop those things, not the payment processor.
Yeah.
Flag it up if you must.
Yeah.
But you don't tell people what they can and can't spend money on.
Yeah.
Even if it happens to be a bit funky.
Yeah. But
no,
they have, and Steam have pulled a load of games because they would cripple them. So
it's again another one of those things where these people, they have this first paragraph that sounds wonderful. You wouldn't argue with it, and then they slip every fucking thing else in under it. And if you argue with any of the things they've put under it, you're against that first paragraph, which means you're evil. You're worse than Hitler.
Yeah.
You're worse than Keir Starmer. You're worse than... Who's the last bloke that was in?
Boris. Well, he wasn't the last, was he? But
no, fucking Rishi. You're worse... I can't even fucking remember. They're all the fucking same. They're just wearing different coloured bloody shirts.
Yeah.
Couldn't organise a piss up in a brewery.
Yeah, absolute
Bring back
nonsense.
Thatcher. We know she's still alive. She's got a lot to answer for.
Yeah, Thatcher did more damage to the UK than Luftwaffe.
Yeah. Oh God! It all goes back to Thatcher.
Yeah.
Just let the young guard that's by the tomb. Just let him step within that red line. Let him step over the boundary. She'll get a taste of young blood. She'll be back up. All the questions will be answered.
Yeah.
That's all it takes. Australia, fuck off. Your entire fucking landmass is full of things designed to kill you. Fuck off. Think of the children.
But anyway. Shall we move on to happier things?
Sorry, I can't stand this shit.
Yeah.
It's awful. And I get people's logic, you know, oh, but someone has to take responsibility. That's the job of, like, I don't know, if you're in the States, the federal government. And even they're crooked as fuck.
Well,
it's not some random third party's job to do it.
No.
Just,
but anyway, let's put
a banker's job is to bookkeep.
Anyway, so we're moving to some happier things then.
Well, I don't know. I don't think there is anything happier now.
Oh.
You've ruined it for me.
Oh, well. So, what game have you been playing that's not been banned yet?
That's the thing that fucking terrifies me, mate, because I'm going to have to go over this thing with a fine-tooth comb, but I've got a funny feeling you could, if you wanted to, because of how vague it is, ban everything. I haven't been playing a game. I've been playing an expansion of a game. A few years ago, a year after Splatoon 3 launched, and I think Splatoon 3 might have been my game of the year when it came out. A year after, they released Side Order, the DLC, or expansion. And I said, no, I'm not paying like 30 quid for an expansion pack, or something like that, something to that effect. Too expensive, too soon, Nintendo. Which was a really weird stance for me to take, considering I paid the same amount, you know, 20, 30 quid, whatever, for the Octo expansion for Splatoon 2. And it was one of the greatest expansion packs I've ever played in my fucking life. Like, I just hard-node Splatoon 3s for whatever reason. Well, I recently got given a Switch 2. I recently got hold of a Switch 2. And Splatoon 3 got an upgrade for Switch 2. And I thought, you know what? It's probably time now I just get the expansion pass. An expansion pass isn't the same as buying a full game. I've told myself I'm not allowed to buy full games, but I don't mind buying like an expansion DLC or whatever like that. So I buy this pass. Just in case anyone's curious, Splatoon is Nintendo's kind of foray into competitive shooters.
Yeah, it's
child-friendly competitive shooter.
Yeah, it's at that stage where it's not so much. It's before like hero shooters became a thing where there's like sort of like character types. Like everybody just, because from my understanding, Splatoon, you're all basically the same, but you can like you just pick up different weapons and stuff. It's not like classes or anything like that.
Different loadout, yeah.
Yeah, but it's not like there's classes per se or anything like that. No.
So, and the idea of Splatoon is basically base mode Splatoon, and that's all that most people really play, unless you are in the competitive space, where at that point you'll have generally Splatoon, you have a map 50-50 split. Whoever covers the most ground in their team's color wins. It's not who gets the most kills, it's not who does the most stylish whatevers, it's whoever covers the most ground wins. So if you've got an even 50-50 split, and at the end, someone throws a grenade onto the enemy's side, and it covers, like, I don't know, 50.1. The 50.1 side wins, and, 49-9 loses. That's all it takes.
That'd be very annoying.
I've had a match go like that. I've won by 0.1.
I've always. I bet if you win, it feels amazing, but when you lose, it's like, oh, for fuck's sake.
To be fair, I don't get angry when I play Splatoon. Because especially in like the general turf war, which is the 50-50 split, whoever gets the most wins kind of thing. It's just a really chill mode, mate. Like, you either win or you lose, and it could be down to a grenade or a special. You could be down to the last few seconds of the match, and all of a sudden you've lost it. A match could be the last minute. You could all stand in your base. That last minute, you could take it. You could just completely steamroll across the map and still win. You don't have to shoot anyone. You just have to cover ground. It is, for me, really chill, really fun. You've got the more competitive modes like splat zones. So there's like a section on the map, and instead of overall coverage, you have to take control of that specific section for a period of time. You've also got what was one of the other ones? You got zone control. Was it like clan blitz or something? I don't remember the other modes, but like you've got like tower mode where you have to move a tower from the one side of the map to the other, and basically, if you can't get it there, the defenders win. If you get it there, obviously you win. And the idea is someone has to be stood on the tower as it crosses the map. That's it. So there are some areas where it's not all about coverage. There's a bit more about kind of shooting each other and all that kind of stuff. But it was Nintendo's take on a kid-friendly esport, I suppose, or an esporty shooter. They had like they released ARMS as well, which was like a kind of kiddie-friendly fighting game where you just basically like kind of boxed each other with these really cartoony characters. And what was it? There was another kind of game as well they tried to do, but like Nintendo was trying to kind of ride that esports wave from a few years ago. When people were spending a fortune on like Dota and stuff. But unfortunately, their Splatoon stuff and their ARMS stuff, ARMS effectively is dead, the fighting game. Splatoon, I don't really think it ever got huge outside of Japan. Like in Japan, Splatoon is massive. In the West, though, I don't think they've really bothered putting on many tournaments. I know there's like loads of grassrooty stuff, but anyway, that's Splatoon. I grabbed this DLC, and in this one, so story mode in Splatoon is nothing like your normal game modes. It'll be, I don't know, cross map from point A to point B, shoot enemies, collect items, get to goal, win. You know, it could be like a bit of platforming, bit of an arena shooter, all kind of using the mechanics of a Squid Kids loadout. It's kind of awkward to explain. You'd have to really see it because it's not a normal.
It's not
kind of shooter story mode. I imagine it's been a really extended tutorial.
Yeah.
So, you know, squids can grind on rails, shoot all of these targets to win. So you're grinding along this rail, and you'll have to jump between rails to get to like the next section or whatever. If you miss, you lose the mission. You hit the rail, or you miss the target, or you jump onto the next rail, you can access the next targets. If you miss a target, you lose the mission, that kind of thing. You've spawned into an arena, collect X number of items, take it to the goal, next story mission kind of thing. In Octo expansion, they had one that was like literally, here's a grid of boxes. So like imagine you've got all these crates stacked on top of each other. And on the other side, here's a shape in it made out of these crates. Replicate that shape on the other side. So there'll be like a stack of crates, like shaped like a dog or whatever.
Yeah.
Copy that. You know? That kind of stuff. Nothing overly fancy. In Splatoon 3 Side Order, they made a roguelite.
Okay.
So the idea is you need to get to floor 30 of the Order Tower and beat the boss. And every time you go into an elevator and you go, bam, floor 1. It'll give you a couple of choices. Do you want to do like zone control? Do you want to do I guess like a spawn point? I can't. What the fuck word would it be? Like these spawn points come up and you have to destroy them. And what was the other one? Like you have to get an item from one side of the map to another, like a checkpoint thing. So you have to shoot it. And as you shoot it, it moves. If you don't keep shooting it, it just goes back to the start or to the next checkpoint.
Right. So you have to constantly. You can like take a pause, but you can't pause too long.
Yeah. I can't think of what that would actually be, but so you pick as you get onto the floor, you pick one of the options, or you pick the level stage. Something you could have like 2 or 3 of the same, and they'll have maybe a difficult. This one's an easy one. This one's a normal one. This one's a hard one. This one's got modifiers on it, and you basically pick the one that you prefer. You go in, you complete the objective. Next floor. You've earned some money based on difficulty. And you can spend that as you go up the tower, because there might be like vending machines. So on floor 5, here's a vending machine. Spend any money you've got up to this point on the vending machine. You can use that to get more lives or whatever. It's like you might start with 1 life, 2 lives, 3 lives, whatever. You can buy more lives until you've got your cap. Buy more upgrades for your gun, or buy upgrades for your character. And then if you die, your money gets converted into pearls. So you don't get to keep your money, you don't get to keep your upgrades. Once you're dead, you're dead. If you've got 3 lives, you've got 3 goes kind of thing. Once you're dead, you fail the zone, you go back to the ground floor, you get pearls, which is a different kind of currency, and you can use those to buy hacks to make going up the tower easier. Defense, better sub-weapons, damage reduction,
and
more lives.
And are hacks like that run next one only, or they actual permanent upgrades?
They're permanent upgrades.
Yeah.
So as you grind up the tower, you're getting pearls. You spend the pearls to do the hacks to make the tower easier from that point on. As you go through, every time you beat a boss, so you get a pallet, imagine a paint pallet. And there'll be different color chips you can put in there. For every time you beat a floor, you'll get a different color chip. You can pick the color, so that might be like, as I said, like splat zones, and that might give you a purple chip. There might be a like one of those checkpoint things where you have to move the thing from one side of the zone to the other. That could give you like a green one, and you go, "Oh, I want the green chips because I'm currently collecting green chips because that gives me a benefit in an area I want." You pick the green one, you get the green chip, you put it in the pallet. Each weapon pallet has 3 keys, 1 per boss. And so if you get up to, say, floor 10, you beat the boss, you get a key, you can use that to unlock potentially other pallets. So you go to like some lockers, you put the key in, you might get some pearls, you might get a title, you might get a little bit of story, like a diary entry or whatever, or you might get another pallet, so another weapon. If you go back up the tower with the same weapon that you've already done the first boss on, you don't get another key. So the idea being that you can get 3 keys per weapon. Once you've got all the keys, you have to swap weapons so you can unlock more lockers to unlock more weapons to then keep going up the tower kind of thing. It's actually surprisingly fun and can be quite difficult. It's a roguelike after all. The game can be quite cheap, and some of the stages can be really stacked against certain weapon types. Yeah. So, you don't want to go into like an enemy horde mode kind of stage where enemies are spawning out of these spawn points or whatever. You don't want to go into a weapon like that where you've maybe got short range, low damage. Yeah.
Is there is there like a way to skip levels, like you can like skip lower levels at points, or do you have to go through all 30 every time?
I believe you have to go through all 30. But you can make the first 20 easier with a hack. I think there might actually be a retry hack as well. So like if you actually run out of lives, you can pay money to get another go. But not entirely sure. I can't remember, because when I play roguelikes, I'm going to be honest with you, I tend to be an absolute ass. So it's like, hey, you can buy these things to make the game easier. And I'm like, oh, I don't really know if I want to make the game easier on myself. And so it's like I almost purposely make it a struggle.
Yeah.
but there's a lot there. Like you can increase your defense, you can increase your damage output, you can give yourself special abilities. You've got a support drone with you that will allow you to kind of glide about, so you can you can jump off of an area and then grab hold of the drone, and the drone will kind of glide. So you've got like a slower descent, which is kind of easier, like handy to cover ground, because the arenas aren't very big, but it can help you move. Like, let's say, for example, you're getting swamped by a group of enemies, you can use the drone to kind of get away.
Yeah.
And as you pick up items, you can actually buy upgrades for the drone as well. So, like, you can get it so the drone will fire off a special attack once you collect a certain number of points. So as you do damage to enemies, the drone might charge, or you pick up batteries and the drone will charge, like item drops. That will then mean the drone will be more useful to you. When you collect certain chips, those chips could unlock that you put into your pallet. Those could unlock drone abilities too. So you can unlock some of the hacks for the drone. Don't actually automatically unlock the things for the drone. They unlock the chips that you can give to the drone. But it's I don't know, man. I'm not doing a particularly good job of enjoying it, explaining it. But if you've played a roguelike before, it's pretty standard. It's a Splatoon themed roguelike. You gather materials, you die, you get to keep some of them, you use the materials to level up, makes the next run easier until you beat the tower, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Story-wise, it's pretty fun. Ties into Splatoon 2. Because it's themed off of the Order and Chaos Splatfest from the end of Splatoon 2. Team Chaos won, so this is based on Order and the losing side's kind of emotions and how they're dealing with it. Not going to go heavily into the story, just play the fucking game. I will say, I did get a bit salty though, playing it.
You never.
Never, no. So, folks who have listened to the podcast before will know that we've been playing Heroes of Hammerwatch. And I think I'm a bit rogued out.
I was going to say you rogueliked out.
Yeah, I'm proper burnt on rogues, because at one point I did a stream of the whole expansion in one sitting. My God, because I started having people, bless them, they're only trying to be helpful, but I'd made it clear many a time I've already played games like Rogue. I know how Rogue works. I know how roguelikes and roguelites work. I know how to play the game. But my God, people were trying to be helpful, and it didn't help my enjoyment of the game any.
No.
And when you start to have repeated flaws, so like you don't generally get repeated flaws per run, but like you die, you go back through, I've seen this flaw before, I've heard that dialogue before, that kind of thing. I'm like, I'm getting fucking sick of this. And then you got people going, oh, well, it's this and it's that, and you should do this and you should do that. It's like, I know. And probably must have been about 4 hours into my session, I started to get really fucking salty. With that said, because I was like, no, I can't recommend this. I can't recommend this expansion to people. I will throw out there, I cannot recommend that expansion if you haven't played Splatoon 2 or the Octo expansion. I can't do it because it ties directly into Splatoon 2 and the Octo expansion. In fact, it takes place like a few years after Octo expansion. Same character from Octo expansion. So you're kind of missing stuff if you haven't played them. Still pretty fun, but I was getting quite salty, and I let the salt kind of take control, and I said, no, I can't recommend this, man. But then after I realized it was my salt talking, it was my sodium levels going through the roof, I actually got to the end of the tower, beat it, and I was like, this was fucking amazing. Like, the ending, as is often the case with Splatoon games, absolutely phenomenal. Your heart rate go up, the music's fucking proper belting, mate. And yeah, you just all of a sudden, like, all of that kind of, I'm gonna fucking murder someone, just flows out of you. It was really fucking good. I never thought I'd see a Splatoon themed roguelike, but it was really good. It's really good. A tad short, depending on how you look at it. Some people were saying you could do it in about 4 hours. Once you kit it out and you know what you're doing, you can probably finish a run in about an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Right.
Maybe I'm slow. But it can take a while to do a run in that game. It's really fun. Mechanically, it's solid. Graphically, it's beautiful. It looks absolutely great. If you can get it on sale as well, an absolute bargain. It doesn't give you as much as Octo expansion, because that's the bonus to Octo and Splatoon 2. You'd play for like 8 to 10 hours in Splatoon 2, just doing like story mode and some extra bits. And then you play for like another 4 to 8 hours in Octo expansion. It doesn't offer quite the same amount in side order. But side order, the idea being you spend a few hours on a run, that's the story effectively done, kind of thing. And then you can get more by completing the pallets of the other guns to go up, and you get more dialogue and stuff like that. You unlock more like devlogs, story, that kind of thing. So you can finish it really quickly, but if you're willing to do a few more runs, kind of like with Heroes of Hammerwatch, you finish the game, could take about 15 hours. But if you want to do new game plus, new game plus 2, new game plus 3, some people have gone to the point that their characters are like 500 levels strong, and the level cap is 20 in Heroes of Hammerwatch. So there are people out there who do enjoy just going again and again and again just to get that little bit stronger and all that. It was pretty sound. I don't want to say anything about the story because I don't want to spoil it. There isn't a huge amount, but it's there and it's all right. But you really have to have had some prior knowledge of Splatoon 2 and Octo expansion to really get a groove of it. But Splatoon roguelike, mate, great. Heroes of Hammerwatch almost ruined it for me.
I'll say, I never thought I was going to hear Splatoon and roguelike in the same sentence, but there we go.
Yeah, I mean, I should just probably note, when I was saying I couldn't explain the other levels, think of the other levels in story mode of Splatoon like obstacle courses. So if you have to do a bit of platforming, do a bit of shooting, do a bit of collecting, can you get through in a certain speed? It's really just to get you used to the controls.
Yeah.
To get you ready to get your fucking shit pushed back in when you go online.
Cool.
What about you, man? What have you been playing, man?
Well, I've just sort of started scratching the surface of the game, so I'll go over it briefly, but I've not properly gone into a depth enough to give a proper view. I've been playing a game called Production Line.
Oh god, another one of those, eh?
Yeah. It's made by I think the dev made a game called Big Pharma, but being a medical drug maker.
Oh, I've heard of that one.
Yeah, and this is like their sort of sequel. And the idea is you are in charge of a car factory. And you start off like a thing. You have to basically build a production line. And your basic production line is you start with like you'll be producing what the Americans would call a sedan. What we would actually I can't remember what we would call it. But anyway, and you basically car. I think it's what we call. I think their sedan is what we call. I think it's what we call a hatchback. Isn't it? I'm not sure. Actually, I don't do different terms, different things. I know station wagon is a state car, but I think a sedan's a hatchback.
Is it a saloon?
Might be a saloon. Might be our version. I think sedan is a saloon to us. Anyway. You basically start your basic production line. So how a game works, you start off a blank factory, and you have to put like the stages of production. So you have chassis assembly, which is where all the basic chassis gets built. Body assembly, which puts all the body panels on. Then there's painting. Then there is accessories, which is things like your seats, your wing mirrors, all those little bits there. Then there is.
I've never thought of my car's seats as an accessory, Ram.
Well, they are, yeah. I think they're accessory in the sense that you can change. There could be different versions of them.
Yeah,
type
sure.
thing.
No, I get you. I get what you're saying. It's just like,
Then there
wait, I
is.
can have a car without seats.
Yeah. Then there is. Oh, there's engine assembly for accessories. Then there's electrical gear. Then there's quality assurance. And after you've done all that, it then goes to your forecourt, as it were, and you can then sell the vehicle. And so you set this all chain up, and you're basically building a basic sedan vehicle.
Did you Gulag it or British Leyland it? Which one?
Surprisingly, neither. Because again,
They're both quite similar, so I can understand how you might get confused.
Because apparently all your workers are all quite good, are quite efficient. But your cars are really basic at the start. They're just a big, bog standard, cheap as cheap can be car. No real fancy features on them and so forth. And yeah, basically, yes. And you're producing these cars and you sell them and you sell the cars and you get money from them and so forth. What you will soon start doing is you'll basically start researching like upgrades like, cruise control, sat nav. And then you can basically, one of those things about it is you can customize a model. So you can go onto like a little screen where your car is and you can like say, okay, I'm now going to start including sat navs in it or Bluetooth in. I'm going to start including these features as I unlock them, and you can either like upgrade like a base model, or you can make a copy of it, and then like I sort of have a different like two models, like so you have like two trim levels, and have like different price points of both. And you can also, as part of your research, you also can improve production. There's all these little production steps. They all take different amounts of time. So assembling chassis may take like 15 minutes, but putting the body panels on takes 30 minutes. Well, you can see a problem there already. You're going to assemble chassis twice as fast as you can put body panels on. So you may then go, okay, well, I'm going to split my production line to two and have, the chassis go out, has 2 points. So I have like so basically I can spread the load. So I'm building as quickly as I'm assembling the next stages, and like paint it long. And some bits are really quick, so you may then like filter back down to one lane and go through just one section, which is really quick because you don't need to pass through it. And also, as you're part of your research, you can basically each stage you can like do what they call focusing. So default chassis production, they assemble everything like the I think they put like the axles on, the sort of cross members on. They basically put all the bits on one stage, which takes a long time. Actually, a better example with bodywork production. Your bodywork, they'll put the doors on, the bonnet on, the boot on, the wings on, the roof on, all in one stage. But as you research more, you can actually like split these down. So you have a place that just puts on the doors, that just puts on the bonnet. So you can make a faster production line, makes it more efficient because each stage is taking less time to do, so you get more throughput. And these you also have to do sort of specialization to allow you to unlock other researchers. So if you don't do door specialization, you can't unlock central locking, for example, because you need to be able to like assemble central locking at the right points. And the whole time you're sort of trying to follow the markets. The market will change as time goes on. So, it's fine to say you're like little cheap, basic sedans at first, but over time, as your competitors research stuff, the market may change. So, like what becomes like a very ultra rare add-on becomes quite common. So you expect to see more. So unless you like upgrade your models as time goes on, you'll always be a little bit behind the curve. So you have to like
once upon a time, having a radio was a luxury option.
Yeah. Now it's all standard. It's now sort of, aircon's probably a really good example. For a long time, aircon was an optional. Until fairly recently, aircon was still not a default thing on most cars. Now it's a standard.
Seatbelts.
They've been around a while, but sat navs. Actually, sat navs is probably another good example. Until recently, sat navs were out. Even like 15 years ago, you only got sat navs in higher end vehicles or higher end trim levels. But now it's standard. My parents
still don't get the groove. Yeah, my parents don't get the groove that they don't have to buy an optional sat nav.
Yeah.
Like these days. I mean, to be fair, trying to tell my parents, guys, you've got sat navs in your pockets.
Yeah.
Like you don't need to go out and buy a dedicated sat nav anymore. Like
and if your car's got Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, you're sorted.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's just like, and I was like, what? Well, but that usually costs money. I said, nah, standard now. What?
I can actually, on that basis, just say that with how prevalent like Apple CarPlay Android is, I can actually see sat navs becoming a thing when they're not needed anymore in a car. Because I've never used my car. My car's got a sat nav. I've never used it. I use CarPlay if I want to. I use Waze on CarPlay and use that instead. But so basically the general idea is you make money, you spend time researching things that give you better upgrades, so you make more posher cars, different trim levels, and obviously at that stage you might set up like additional production lines. So you can actually set up so you can have like one, like your chassis based station basically determines what the car's going to be. So it determines it's going to be a basic sedan or mid-range. It determines that stage. So you have to basically, you can set up and say, okay, I want you to make 2 basic sedans and then a mid-range sedan. I want you to make whatever you call them. I want to make this ratio, because that's the ratio I'm selling them at, and then they'll go to. You can then have like smart cars will move to different production lines. I actually ended up setting up my current factory. I've now got a new higher posher saloon. I've set up a separate production line for it. That goes off and so forth. Once it goes to your forecourt, you then obviously got to sell the vehicles, and it's interesting how vehicles will go for like range of what they're willing to spend. The market changes and flexes, so you can't keep thing at a set price. You may find that okay, people are willing to spend that much money before, now they're not, so you might have to reduce the price to try and clear through it. Quite neatly as well, you can also basically put like discounts. So you can put discounts on for uninstalled features. So an example that would be, let's say you have a model that has a sat nav in it, you're researching heated seats, and you're producing that model with a sat nav, and then you decide, oh, actually, I'm going to include heated seats now on in the model. That becomes like the base. The model requires it. You're now going to have a lot of stuff in your forecourt that may have the heated seats, the same model, but they're missing that feature because they're produced before you upgraded it. In that case, you can like set a discount. You can say, okay, I want you to sell these, but at a discount because it's missing these features. Or you can sell them at a reduced rate if they've got a imperfection. You can put a discount for imperfections. So a lot of it is balancing what you're selling your vehicles for, responding to the market, whilst also balancing upgrading your features and your production line, because you can only research one thing at a time. So you've really got to say, okay, do you want to put more people towards researching new features so I can like make the cars more valuable to the market, or do I want to be able to try and improve my efficiency so I get more throughput? It's better to have more throughput of like more basic vehicles that can sell really cheap, but they're selling so quickly, doesn't matter. Or is it better to have more specialised things but slower production lines? Which way do you want to go?
You're saying, are you going to go the Kia route or the Ferrari route?
Pretty much, yeah. Basically, yeah. In terms of your throughput. It's a real balance act, and which I wouldn't say I've got right, but I'm sort of muddling through somehow. I've not the first time I ran this, because this game, if your money ever goes below zero, you're bust and it's game over. You can't
contact Thatcher.
Well, you can take a loan out. If it goes bust, your choice is basically end the game or take a loan. Very much like real life. Either like, just go jump off a bridge or have a loan. So
to be fair, most businesses they run on loans. They like loans.
Yeah. And first game I went in, I went bust. I was like, I'm too proud to take a loan. As it's game over.
And so he goes and jumps off a bridge.
So second game, I wasn't proud enough to take a loan. I took a loan out because what I will say is, and this is me not really properly digging into understanding anything so far. I don't think this is the game's fault in terms of information, because we talked about UIs and information being presented to you. There's a lot of information here, but I just don't think I've sat down and properly understood it. What's telling me. So all of a sudden I went through this phase of like, oh, I'm making loads of money. I'm going to build like, some power generators, because you need a lot of power to run your factory and you have to buy it in. But you can build your own power generators, which will then make power for you, which your labour costs will be less than the production costs. Downside to that is they obviously cost more to room. And what I found was every time I built a power generation, it basically knocked my incomes and outgoings quite heavily at first. It took a while to restabilise, so I couldn't just like build them straight away, because I think your earnings is based not just on, it's based like on an hourly stage, but it's also based on like 24 hours and lifetime as well, how much your income you've got going in and out. And what you will find is you could be selling a car at a profit. You then say perhaps upgrade the production line to add some new features into it. Because that costs you money to upgrade it, so that brings your capital costs up, which means that car's now unprofitable.
Your profit.
Yeah, and you have to wait for it to go back into profit again. Which makes sense. You say you buy any upgrades. I was
about to say, where's the surprise?
Yeah, but it's something that doesn't sort of like the first time you see it throws you for a second. Oh no, of course it does, because it's the capital investment is going to be. Because you don't see it, I think because most times you don't see it as you see like, oh, I've had £8 grand in the bank. I've now spent 200 grand on upgrading the factory, but that car's still worth that money. But no, it actually does calculate how much you've just spent in capital to get that upgraded vehicle, so you know that you are going to sort of maybe to put your money up. It's real fine. You're constantly having to adjust how much you're selling vehicles for, I find, because it's very hard to just get the sweet spot just right. And you'll go from having an empty forecourt because you're saving too cheaply to suddenly at one point I found myself in a situation where I had like 40 cars sat at the dealership and I'm just losing money. My money's just going down because no one's buying them. So I had to quickly go in there and actually do a bit like what shops do. Reduce the price down to probably to put one basically making no profit or actually losing money, but they're selling, so I'm getting the capital back in.
Yeah.
See, if you sell at a loss, you're still putting money into your account.
Well, yeah, because otherwise it's just sat there. It's just a loss.
Yeah. Would you rather
There's nothing coming in at all.
Would you rather have something making no money or losing you just and losing everything on it, or losing $200 on it and get something in? So, which is very true to how a lot of businesses do run. You know, they have lost leaders and so forth. So I did find myself doing stuff like that and balancing it out, but it is. It's a game I found that you can't, because there are a lot of games where you have these sort of like productories where you can just, if you've got enough money, you can just spam something and that'll just overpower everything, because the balance of this one, you can't really spam stuff, at least not in, you can do like chunks of time, but you've got to be careful over expending yourself too quickly, and upgrading your factory line as well too quickly. But it's a lovely data game. So much information. It's a 2D but isometric view of the other world, which is quite nice. So you can like stand back and watch all your little robots doing stuff and stuff. It's nice. It's all very interactive. I have found that there are basically stages where you can't do really anything. You just basically just watch the factory build stuff and sell. And it's almost like an idler in a weird way at that point, because you're just like, okay, I need to get more money in the bank to be able to upgrade this, but I need to also unlock these research bits first before I do that, because there's no real point doing it before I get there. So I'll have to chug through research, and basically at this stage, the game's just running itself, but you can't quite just like leave it running and walk away, because I say the market changes. You may need to make adjustments in the market and stuff, and you could find yourself all of a sudden you're like getting to like $1 million in the bank, and by not paying attention, all of a sudden you're down to like $200,000 and you're about to go bankrupt. And so I think
Life of the CEO, mate.
Yeah, life of the CEO. I was like, don't I have people to do this for me? Isn't that why I like employ people?
Basically, like, who decided they were going to leave us? You didn't employ anyone, mate.
Yeah.
Well, that's stupid. What do you mean I have to decide all of this?
Yeah, and I want to like unlock. At the moment, all I can do is make variants of sedans, because I've not unlocked the car design studio yet to design other vehicle types. Because I basically want to go into. I think the idea of the game is you're meant to like dominate every market, but I also want to focus on a market. I want to like basically become the Randers version of Land Rover, and I just do a range of SUVs and off-road. So that's what I want to like focus into. But I was like, I need to just wait for I even get there. I've not even got the design studio in. But like I said,
600 hours in, Ram's still making sedans.
Well, I think it's gonna be like that. I mean, I do feel like I have barely scratched the surface of this. I mean, let me just bring up my playtime. It won't be very long. It won't be ultra long, to be fair. Let me have a look. Oh, I thought I got more than that. I don't think that hour's right, because I've definitely spent more time than that. SteamOS, I've only been playing for 3 hours, but I'm sure that's wrong. I've definitely played more time than that. So I'm pressing exit out Steam's time frame then, because I'm definitely done more than that. But yeah, I'm definitely much in the early stages of it. Other sort of things you need to do, you need to have set up like sort of like resource routes to like take resources to work. So things you have to like set up conveyors. And it can get a bit depressing where you spend too much money also and you can't afford the conveyors, actually move the resources to production areas to build the things you need to make money. So, shit, I can't do that now. That's a bad idea. And you can also, like, there's later game things is where you start off, because you have to basically import at first, you have to import everything. So doors, seats, all your electronics, all have to be imported. But as you later upgrade and research, you can actually build the ability to make these things.
Yes.
So rather than having to build it, so again, you can basically reduce your costs because you don't have to buy them whole. You can build them yourself. So obviously that's sort of the end goal is you basically just bring raw materials and you make everything yourself, and then sell it all on and make like most profit. But as a very scratch surface, so I'm still sort of trying to play through it at the same time. It's definitely a fun little game so far, but I need to play it a little bit more to give proper feedback on it. But from what I've played so far, I've enjoyed. I just need to spend a bit more time on it, and it's definitely one of those games where it'd be great to be able to optimize your factory and like sort of plan the routes out. But it makes me think of Satisfactory, where I sat down and worked. I sat on a bit of paper and a calculator and worked out how many production lines I need to have and where they should be producing stuff, and so I could know the rates
but then
and stuff.
That one didn't have market research, did it?
No. Well, it had research, but it wasn't like you're saying for the market. You were just saying you need to produce X amount of Y, and that's your goal. When you produce X amount of Y, then you can go to the next stage, as it were. Well, not the next stage, but the next sort of challenge comes. So you then would rejig your production line to produce X amount of Y, and some things were like, okay, we need to produce iron rods. Okay, produce iron rods at first. But then later on, it's like, okay, you need to produce plates. Well, the plates need iron rods, so you need to produce iron rods to make the plates. That's how it built up in Satisfactory. But you often find yourself retooling your factory to make the next set of things. And then once it's done, you basically just left it running. And you can then go off and explore the planet and so forth. This is sort of like, but that idea of sort of optimizing things is sort of where I'm at. But I would like to also have the ability to, at least from what I've seen, there's no ability where you can like sort of like, because in Satisfactory you could like slow things down or speed things up by like overpowering them, which could cause damage, or you could also like slow things down. So I'd like to be able to like perhaps tweak those sort of variables a little bit, because I hate having coups forming of like, oh well, and you can never get quite right, because like, well, this stage takes 2 minutes, these stages all take 5 minutes. Well, if I have 10 of them, no matter what I do, I'm not always going to be out of balance, because there'll be 2.5 being produced for every 2 that go through. It's that sort of. Yeah. I like things specifically timed. I like to be a nice.
Sure.
Yeah.
I get that.
But maybe as you get more, you get that sort of stage. So, but yeah, it's fun so far, and I'm gonna hopefully to give a bit more fuller review of it next time. Is my plan. Once I've got a bit further in it.
The 600-hour review of the British Leyland Gulag.
Oh, we've got robots, mate. The robots do everything.
A robotic Gulag.
Yeah, there are people that. I mean, I've unlocked the efficient layout achievement. I'm not sure how I achieved that, but I've done it somehow. But then I think
taking away all the humans.
No, I've got plenty of humans there. Plenty of humans there. But you know, it's good. But yeah, so that's Splatoon 9 after. I hope to pick up a bit further next time.
Cool.
Well, let's see if you know some use Skazz before we finish off.
Not a peep, son.
Cool. Well, thank you much for watching us this episode today. You can join us on our next podcast, which will be on 14th of August. We're in August already. That's rather scary. 14th of August at 20. Let me try this again. I'll edit this bit out. It's fine. I'll edit this out. It's fine. You can join us on the next podcast on the 14th of August at 18:30 GMT +1. We're also playing I'm going to try and stream all day, a games day rather than a games night, because we're going to do like less sessions but longer sessions. You can join us on that, which will be on the 17th of August, which is a Sunday. You can look on twitch.tv/RandNerds, and you can also view the podcast on twitch.tv/RandNerds or youtube.com/RandNerds. So come join us for those, and we will go from there. So thank you very much for joining us this evening. I've been the Suffolk Ram.
Skazz,
and we'll see you guys in a fortnight.
Take it.